Sound of thunderous helicopter rotors, gradually fading to an oppressive, unnatural silence. They thought they made super soldiers. Instead, they made monsters. The sun barely pierced the morning mist over the black forest as our helicopter cut through the clouds. Inside, the roar of the engines was a temporary shield against the silence waiting below. You could see the tension etched on every face. Eric Voss, our Hauptfeldwebel, stared into the endless pines, the old scar near his brow a roadmap of past battles. Lieutenant Anja Weiss, our sniper, was a study in calm, her icy eyes already scanning the terrain she couldn't yet see. Müller, our comms specialist, fiddled with his headset, trying to find a signal in the void. Schmidt and Kruger, our heavy weapons twins, sat stoic and ready. Bauer the medic checked his kit, while Stahl, the new kid, looked like he was about to jump out of his own skin. We were Echo 12. This was just another mission, or so we thought. The helicopter landed in a clearing that looked like a fresh wound carved into the ancient forest. As the rotors spun down, the silence crashed in. It was absolute. No birds, no insects, nothing. Just the whisper of the wind through the skeletal branches. We disembarked, the crunch of our boots on frozen ground the only sound. The air was cold enough to steal your breath. NVGs check, mags check, comms check. The familiar litany of our equipment check was a small comfort. Weiss raised her rifle, scanning the perimeter through her scope. No movement within 500 meters, she reported, her voice flat. Müller tried the radio again. Static is unnaturally clean, sir. Nothing. Not even background hiss. That was the first red flag. A forest this deep should have some kind of atmospheric noise. This was different. This was dead air. We moved out, trekking deeper into the woods. The trees towered over us like silent judges, their branches creaking in the wind like old bones. We were ghosts in a land of giants, our breath pluming in the frigid air. Long lenses would have seen us as small figures dwarfed by the immense dark woods. The feeling of being watched was palpable, a prickle on the back of the neck that no amount of training can erase. As blue hour bled the last of the light from the sky, we made camp beside a frozen creek. We used a smokeless heat source, a small circle of warmth in an ocean of cold. The quiet was still there, a heavy blanket smothering the world. And then, it broke. A howl. Low and sustained, it echoed from the ridges to the east. It wasn't a wolf, it was too deep, too guttural. Then another answered from the west. The sounds were horrifyingly close to human, but twisted, distorted. I saw Stahl flinch, his hand gripping his rifle so tightly his knuckles were white. The sound of his own heartbeat must have been deafening. We all felt it. We weren't the hunters here. Dawn brought no relief, only chilling discoveries. Voss found the first track. It was massive, bipedal, pressed deep into the frozen soil. 40 centimeters long, 15 wide. Whatever made it was huge. Then Weiss found the claw marks on a thick pine. 3 deep gouges, 5 centimeters deep into the wood, as if a giant hand had raked its nails down the bark. Further on, we found old dark blood spattered against a tree trunk. Not animal blood. This wasn't our first sign that we weren't alone in this mission. We found a torn piece of a Bundeswehr uniform snagged on a thorny bush. The nameplate was still attached. Hoffman, Delta 7. The unit that went dark 2 weeks ago. The area was a ghost of a firefight. Bullet holes riddled the trees. Shrapnel scars marred the bark. We found an unused medkit half buried in the mud, its contents pristine. They never even had a chance to use it. They were overwhelmed. That's when Müller's radio crackled to life. It wasn't command. The voice was filtered, synthetic, devoid of any emotion. Echo 12, it buzzed. Target is non-human. Classification W, eliminate, take no prisoners. We froze, exchanging looks. Non-human. The word hung in the icy air. So, the rumors were true. The whispers about some secret project. What had they created? Then Weiss saw it. Contact, 200 meters, tree line. A silhouette darted between the trees. It was upright, but its proportions were all wrong. Too tall, too slender, moving with an unnatural, fluid grace. Before we could react, more shapes appeared, flanking us from the sides. Fast, impossibly fast. Voss's voice was grim. We're encircled. The first shot was a flash of light in the gloom, and then the forest erupted. Muzzle flashes strobed, illuminating fleeting, monstrous shapes that leaped between the trunks with terrifying speed. There was no gore, no clear target, just a blur of motion, and the coordinated, intelligent way they moved, herding us. This was a hunt, and we were the prey. "Fall back!" Foss yelled. "Retreat to the south!" We retreated under fire, a chaotic scramble through the undergrowth. The enemy a phantom presence all around us. Then, through the trees, we saw it. A huge, overgrown armored door set into the side of a rock face. A rusted emblem was barely visible, a wolf's head superimposed over crossed lightning bolts. Below it, a single word: Projekt EISENWOLF. Projekt EISENWOLF. We had found the den. With a final, desperate push, we reached the door and threw our weight against it. It groaned open just enough for us to squeeze through, and we slammed it shut behind us. The sounds of the firefight were replaced by the horrifying scrape of claws on metal from the other side. Emergency lights flickered on, bathing the concrete bunker in a pulsating, hellish red light. We were trapped. But as we looked around at the dark, cavernous space stretching before us, we realized we weren't trapped outside. The monster's lair. We were trapped inside it.